The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Hello everyone, I'm State Senator Michael Rodrigues and welcome to another edition of Voices from the Hill. And as we do every month, we gather here at the studios at Bristol Community College, and we being myself and members of the City of Fall River's legislative delegation, Representative Carol Fiola, Representative Alan Sylvia. We are missing Representative Paul Schmid today. He has other responsibilities that's kept him away, but he is certainly a valued member of our delegation. And here it is now. We are recording in March to be aired in April, so spring has sprung. And I know, even though it's March, I did my patrol around my yard today, and you know, the crocuses are blooming, the bleeding hearts are sprouting, even my hydrangeas are budding. So I'm getting antsy to stop playing outside in my yard. But it's a little busy time of the year for all of us. Election season is upon us. We're out gathering nomination signatures for our nomination papers. It's budget time at the State House. It's crunch time. Our legislative session ends on July 31st, so we have a lot of pending issues piled up that we have to get through. But we are happy to have this opportunity to have a conversation and to update all of you of what's going on. And good morning.
Morning, how are you?
Great to see everybody.
It's like we haven't seen, we started at 8 o'clock this morning. We had a meeting down at the chamber at 8 o'clock, which lasted much longer than I thought, but it was some great information. I always learn things when I sit at those meetings from my colleagues. I learned so much from Rep. Fiola and from Senator Rodrigues, who is the chair of Ways and Means, of course. And so I'm blessed to work with these folks who are extremely knowledgeable in the areas that they oversee, and it was just an interesting morning.
It was.
It was, and I'm wearing green today, just FYI, because while you will be seeing this maybe the end of March, it is St. Patrick's Day weekend. It's a Friday, and so I thought I'd wear it today, and so hopefully the last time I'll wear a little velvet.
It looks good. It looks good.
Yep. So we'll have a busy weekend. There's lots of activities and festivities, and before we kind of get into more state stuff, I wanted to also acknowledge that Rep. Schmid not being with us, but you've heard the news. While we are all looking forward to continuing to serve you, Rep. Schmid has made the decision that he will not be running for another term. He is going to spend more time with his wife and children and on his farm, and we are going to miss him tremendously. We always tout ourselves as a close-knit delegation, which we are, and he's been a vital part of that. So we're going to miss him, but we have him till January 1st at 11:59 a.m. in the morning, because that is January 1st when the new session begins and everyone is re-sworn in, hopefully, and or new members are sworn in. And so until then, we have a lot of work to do together. So when you see him, I know you'll say thank you to him, and we do all the time. So like Rep. Sylvia said, we were at the chamber this morning, and they bring up all the hot issues that are important to them. Just like when you run into us, you tell us what's important to you. And so this morning, the chamber talked a lot about housing issues, which we know are on the front burner. No simple answers there. We inject a lot of funding to help people support themselves if there's gaps through the about $500 million we put into the budget every year to be supportive of the agencies that can help you. We talked a little bit about the pending South Coast Rail, ready to kind of head off the track. Late this summer, and so anyway, it's just such a joy. We're in budget season, as the senator said, and what that means to us is when you see us here in the district at an event or an event that you are hosting or that you're attending, which we all see each other at. But we're also working in Boston really diligently to, as the Senator said, move forward a lot of pieces of legislation that have been filed, have had hearings on, and we're looking at closely now. But on top of that, we have $57 billion budget roughly that we're looking at, and every detail of that. Certainly on the Senate side, we have the Senator working really hard and leading that effort. And on our House side, we have the Senator's co-chair, if you will, our House Chair of Ways and Means, Aaron Michaelwitz, who's working with us to figure out how we can help you more in the coming season. So.
Yep. You know, it's. I was just listening to Rep. Fiola, and I was reminded by, you know, the great work that Paul Schmidt, Representative Schmidt, did. You know, as chair of agriculture, I happened to sit on that committee with him. Imagine me being from Fall River and sitting on an agricultural. I never thought that. You know, I was shocked when I was taken out of public safety, where I spent most of my career, 23 years on the police department, and then they, as a little bit of a punishment, they sent me to.
No, you got to learn new things. That's what it's about.
They
Learning
sent
new
me
things.
to cannabis. I used to arrest people for cannabis. I didn't know anything about cannabis. So it's very
All
interesting.
potted now.
What?
They're all going to be potted
Everybody's
now.
out.
Okay, so yeah, they're all going to be pardoned. I'm sure our listeners have seen that the Governor Healy is going to pardon all those who were charged with the misdemeanor at the time of possession of controlled substance. It was Class D. I know I charged so many people with that. And now I feel
You were
bad.
tough.
I feel bad. Since the governor made that announcement, I'm actually having like little nightmares. I feel sorry about all that, but I will repent. And but
It is Lent. We're almost over.
yeah, that's
It
right.
is Lent.
So I just wanted to I wanted to mention that I didn't expect to go on.
You can grow a garden in your yard in Fall River. There are a lot of people.
That's
So you're
Urban
learning new
urban
things.
farming. That's a
Urban
big that's a
farming.
big
That's
issue.
Tree
actually-
canopies, right?
You know, speaking of that, we have this week coming up to the State House is going to be Holy Trinity School,
Good.
parochial school over there on Tucker Street, and I know you'll join us.
Yeah.
I know one of your staff members will be there, Kyle.
Yeah.
Because and they've been doing urban farming indoors with microgreens that I didn't even know what microgreens were. I should be
Yeah.
ashamed of myself. I've been to
It's
many
a good
restaurants.
cash crop, by the way.
Yes.
Yes. it
Well,
can-
they sell them to Diamond Vocational.
For their kitchen, for their foods.
Yes,
yeah.
and
I'm getting
8 or 9 other restaurants in the region. Christopher's uses microgreens. So it's incredible what these kids have done and the commitment that they have. So they're going to be visiting us at the State House, and we're going to be giving them a tour and some pizza. But I'm excited because none of them, and I talked to the students recently, none of them have ever been to the State House.
You know, that's true. We
I bet you some of the parents, adult chaperones,
not. No,
have
they
not
won't.
been to the
No.
State House. And that's what's exciting when we do get to host school groups. I'm excited for the students to be there, and they're excited. I'm just as excited for the parents and for the chaperones, many of whom say, Senator, I've never been here before. Well, it's it's an hour and a half on a good day to get from here to Fall River. By the time you get to Boston, through Boston to the State House, find a parking spot, go in, so you can understand why they haven't been there. But I'm just going to quickly jump in and give my congratulations, my appreciation to our colleague Rep. Paul Schmidt, who is, thank God, he's retiring in good health, spending time, as Rep. Fiola said, with his wife, his kids, his grandkids on his farm. He is really a farmer. He's, he doesn't just play one in the legislature, he's one in real life. And statewide, there's probably been no legislator in my career that has done more than to promote agriculture broadly than Representative Paul Schmidt. He is, as much as we all know and love him, here in the South Coast. He is beloved across the Commonwealth of Massachusetts for what
Always
he's
a
done.
gentleman. Always a gentleman.
Perfect gentleman.
Yep.
Perfect gentleman. You know, a Marine, veteran, Harvard grad. Two Harvard degree. No one knows that about him. He's so humble. He wears his work boots every day that are perfectly polished.
And his
we've-
barn coat.
and his
And
barn
we've
coat.
often talked about those boots, huh?
Listen, if
But you
I
know-
walked around in work boots like that, people would say, geez, Raffaello, what's she wearing the work boots,
Yeah.
right? So I wear my work boots. They're about this high, right? But he wears those boots.
So
and-
all of these years, I've never seen him in regular dress shoes, but all of these years he'd be in the State House.
Once I
We'd
did.
be at very formal, of course, when we were in chamber. And
Suit
he
and
had
tie.
a nice suit on with a tie, and you look down, he's got brown boots on, like he just come out of the farm. But
He
always-
did. He did.
I know. He would shine.
Sticks
he
to
would
that.
shine the boots.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you, what a good person, and it's been such a pleasure to work with him. He's so easygoing,
Yeah.
and as I said, a perfect gentleman, and I'm going to miss him.
Yeah, we all are. So we're going to enjoy him for the rest of the
He
year.
has never said a bad thing
No.
about anybody.
I know he doesn't
And we
talk about
try.
anybody. Not like me.
Never.
I go up the charts.
No,
And we
Everyone's
try.
guilty
We
a little
try
bit.
to egg him on.
No.
Yeah, I know.
We try
he
to
won't
egg
go.
him.
He won't bite.
No, he won't bite.
go.
We try to egg him on.
Isn't that something, though?
You know, but he will not. He will not. Well,
But you
Rep
talk-
Schmidt, thank you very much for your service. You
Thank you.
deserve a
Yep.
happy and healthy and long. Well, on the farm, you don't retire, but you know, thank you. It's been an honor and a pleasure serving with you.
Absolutely. And you mentioned the microgreens, Alan, or Rep. Sylvia Allen. We're friends, so we
Yeah,
can say that.
yeah.
Think about that as you're sitting at home hearing, what does microgreens have to do with me, right? But there it's happening right there in Fall River in a school. And the beauty of this role that we have is while we are advocating for very specific things for our community, things that the mayor, the council, the school committee, the citizenry ask us about and for, and we believe are important, like getting a lot of funding down here, which we do, unprecedented amounts. But we get to learn also about things and work on things that affect the entire Commonwealth, right? So whether it's in the agriculture fields, while it's important to Westport, that Paul Schmidt represents, along with a little bit of everywhere else, we get to learn important things. You laughed, you joked, okay, you're on the cannabis or the agriculture committee, but you've learned some
Sure,
things
absolutely.
that do affect us because we do have a cannabis industry here. You know, we just opening up right now a new license for a grow facility at the beginning of the industrial park. That's coming on. And the effects of that business on our economy here in Fall River. So we are privileged, and I say privileged and humbled, to learn so many things that while at first you don't think they really affect us, they do because it's all related. So I just think that that's
You know what's
fascinating.
so interesting, going back to the microgreens, is you show up, and I know this happens to all of us, it happens so many times. You're looking on your calendar, tomorrow morning I'm going to be at Holy Trinity School, or I'm going to be at Durfee High School, or I have to go to BCC to meet with the president. And you arrive at these locations, sometimes the first time you're meeting with students and faculty at a particular school. And I'm always so impressed by the students. I am moved to see their interest, their concern. You know, we have this impression sometimes that, especially we know what's going on nationally, we think, oh, these kids don't care. They have no moral compass. Not the case. It's amazing. I was talking to 6th and 7th graders. I wasn't like that when I was in the 6th and 7th. I didn't have that. They were so focused on
Tuned in,
what
yeah.
they were doing, articulate, and it gives you a great sense of hope.
It does.
You know, we're heading. Everyone thinks. I mean, we always hear about the bad things, but we seldom hear about the good things. And when we get to meet those kinds of people, they change us. You know.
You're absolutely right. You talked about coming in and visiting different groups. Well, while we're on the students and while we're sitting here at Bristol Community College, and one of the things I think still isn't known enough is that what we've done in our last year session And we've been able to allow for you, if you are over 25, and you have kind of attempted, maybe thought about going to college or tried it and dropped out, you can attend Bristol Community College for free. For free. You're someone who has now been out in the workforce, maybe not feeling like you've maximized your potential, or the area that you're working in now is not something you want to stick with, or the area you're in requires a little more education. We have been able to fund the Mass Reconnect program for Bristol Community College and all community colleges for adults to go back to college and earn a degree. And these are some of the students we've met recently who've gone back. Their children are a little older, and this is over 25, so you could be 30, 40, whatever age you are, over that age of 25, go back and consider going back to college if that's interest to you. Set up an appointment, walk in. They are so accommodating, and you can get your associate's degree and
Or just take
for
a
free.
course.
Or take a course, but for free, books included. So that's a really big deal, and we're so proud of that.
Yep.
And please take advantage of it. We're hearing from President Douglas that while they have certainly increased enrollment, there are still people every day that are not aware of that. So share it with your neighbors, friends, family members, children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews. If you are here in Massachusetts, that's available to you.
It's a wonderful opportunity for Mass Reconnect, absolutely. I mean, education is such an important issue with all of us. It's probably one of the issues, if not the issue we speak most about. We've done a lot over the last 20, 30 years on K through 12 education through Education Reform Act, through the Student Opportunity Act.
Pre-K,
Yep.
right now?
Now we're really focusing heavily on early education and care, pre-K to 3 to 5 year olds, to ensure that everyone has the opportunity to get a quality preschool education. It can't all happen at once, right? There's a lot of impediments. Workforce, we don't have enough educated, quality
Early childhood teachers.
early childhood teachers. So we have to build the workforce. Classroom capacity, we don't have enough classrooms to house all these students that we want to provide education. That's going to take a while to build up, but we're committed and we're in it for the long run to build a pathway so that every community, so that Fall River, Westport, Somerset, Swansea, every community has the opportunity to provide quality early education and care. And it's also a workforce issue because
Sure, they can. They don't
you know,
have the burden.
I have 2 grandchildren. My oldest, Nolan, who's 4 years old, goes every day, 8:30, just 2.5 hours, 8:30 to 11, preschool. But both mom and dad work. So, my wife is grandma full time, and But what do families do when mom and dad both have to work? If there is a mom and dad, or if it's just a single family household, if just mom or just dad has to work to provide for that household, and they've got an infant, they got a young child, and they don't have a grandma,
And the cost.
And the cost, it's crazy. It's as much as college. There's $25,000 a year in some places.
So we've been talking about pre-K education. I filed that bill
you forever.
for at least 11 years. And slowly, though, we were edging with more vouchers. And now it appears we're on the cusp of getting all our 3 to 5 year olds eventually free education. What that does for the workforce is incredible, because no longer are families going to be strapped to having to pay or go to work.
Pay more for childcare than
Then
you're
they
bringing
make that
in.
work.
And we have not been, you touched on this, Senator. We have not been parent friendly, mom friendly as a society, because as you so well said, over the years that family has moved away. You've moved for jobs. There's smaller family. There's not the grandmother. It was just, some of you listening say, well, where's the family members to babysit? The grandmother. Well, that doesn't always exist anymore. A single mom to go to work, and imagine even having to put them in a half-day day.
Right.
Who's
Right, who's gonna
dropping
pick
them
'em
off
up?
at 8?
Right.
And who's picking them up at 11:30? So a lot of people say, well, this mom should work. And I get it. We want everyone working. Absolutely. But if you stop and you as we do, we get exposed to a lot of reality every day. And now a mom has a baby, she gets 3 months off, and what do I do next? Do I go back to work and spend $300 a week in full-time daycare? And I got to get him there, I got to pick him up at night, and to make $500? So with that extra $200, I'm paying rent, utilities, cable, groceries. We always say it's complicated. We always hear from people that do suggest solutions, but sometimes those solutions are more complicated. And they just got to work, and we can't do this. But there's a lot of impediments we have put in front of families because society has changed, not because we want to just throw money around. That is not the case. We are responding to the fact that, what do? My rent's high, everything else is high. I can't get them to childcare, so maybe I'm going to stay out of the workforce for a couple of years. Anyway, that's a reality. And the other thing I would just add, while speaking about education, which is so important, you mentioned human service jobs, healthcare jobs, or education. Those, even public safety, we need you. We need you to go into these professions. We want you to do whatever it is you like, but we need more bodies, and we're trying to be accommodating there through this education program, free education. We need you. Switch careers. We're making it easy for you because we know desperately everyone is looking for more workers. We don't know where they all went, do we?
No, the part of the silver tsunami, the fact that demographics, our population is aging, there's less young people entering the workforce, more older people retiring and exiting the workforce. I say this every single day now. I have back-to-back-to-back meetings in my conference room with not only my colleagues, but advocacy groups, employer groups, and I don't care whoever's sitting, I always say this, whoever sits in that seat next to me, whether they're representing the restaurant industry, the service industry, whether they're representing hospital and healthcare providers, whether they're representing the building trades and the construction industry. Workforce, workforce, workforce. Everyone will tell you, from jobs that require very low entry-level skills to jobs that require very high entry-level skills, it's workforce, workforce, workforce.
Yeah. So I'm thinking workforce, but I wanted to bring something up before we run out of time, because we sometimes we arrive here at the studio at Bristol Community College and say, what are we gonna talk about? We never. All of a sudden it just rolls off of us because we're immersed in this system that there's one issue after another, whether from healthcare to education to public safety. But something I wanted to bring up is something that I know many people out there are concerned about because they hear about Stewart Hospital. And I just wanted to let you know that we have been together as a delegation working very closely with Stewart Hospital. We've had several meetings. We've had meetings with the Commonwealth and Department of Health. And we have been meeting with South Coast Hospital, who's been has a great partnership with us. So we are working on that. We want to make sure that that continuum of care continues, and that that health care is being provided, quality health care is being provided, and we've been working to make sure that that continues. So there'll be changes in the very near future of who will take over the hospital. We're not sure. But we're heading in that direction, and I just thought it's important to let everyone know that we're on top of it, and we'll continue to do that.
And we'd also like to say that while we've been meeting with both the state and Stewart, St. Anne's Hospital, and South Coast to talk about this, because don't forget, if any changes that happen at St. Anne's affect South Coast, because if there were a drop in services, South Coast would have to absorb that work. So I think it's safe to say we're going to be okay, and I think we want to really credit the incredible healthcare workforce that are working at St. Anne's, at Stewart right now, because they are maintaining great services imagine your workplace, you're hearing all this swirling information. There are some things that maybe aren't being done there now that used to be done because of supply chain issues and so forth. But the quality care is still there, very strong, and we want to thank everyone at the hospital for doing that, whether it's in the maintenance housekeeping department, to the nursing, to the respiratory therapists, to everyone involved. This is yet another issue that day to day you're living, and you still go to the hospital and things are happening, but it's a big issue. And healthcare in general is a big issue. So these are the kind of topics we immerse ourselves in as legislators, and you may not see that every day, but that's what we're doing. We're learning and understanding what's happening out there so that we can maybe pivot and make changes that are necessary. But they don't happen overnight. They're deliberative, and they take time. Yeah. But we do respond, and we're very proud to be a part of that process.
We are a little better positioned in Fall River than other communities are relative to the Stewart Hospital crisis, and it is a crisis because they have 9 hospitals around the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Think of our good friends and neighbors just to the north in Brockton. Brockton had 2 hospitals like Fall River had 2 hospitals. They had Brockton Hospital and they have Good Samaritan, which is a Stewart hospital. Brockton Hospital had a major fire 12 months ago, closed down. They're in the process of rebuilding. That only leaves Good Sam, who is in crisis situation. Mm-hmm. They can't, Brockton, Massachusetts cannot not have a hospital,
no.
And but in Fall River, St. Anne's is, to build on what Rep. Viola had to say, all of the providers, everyone that's working for St. Anne's Hospital, thank you for your professionalism. Thank you for ensuring that your patients, our constituents, are getting the best health care possible, and know that your concerns, our focus is first and foremost on the patients and those receiving care at the hospitals. Secondly, and right behind, if not even behind, but concurrently, is the staff that are providing that care. All of the other issues relative to ownership and to, all of the decisions that Stewart Healthcare made to put them in this position, we can't worry about that. Worrying about that doesn't. We need to worry about the patients and the staff in our communities.
Hey, look at the time. We're running out of time. Can you believe that?
Oh my God.
I know. As Rep. we said that. What are we going to talk about? Yeah. I don't know. I'll introduce us and we'll start talking.
But we have 20 seconds, and before you close,
okay,
just remember to reach out to us.
Yeah.
Don't have questions swirling and maybe talk to someone and get information that maybe isn't from the horse's mouth. Reach out to us. As you know, we do respond to you. We do get back to you. That's what we pride ourselves on. We may not get you the answer. Constituent services. So amongst everything else we're doing, constituent services are number one.
Very
Senator?
good. That's it. Thank you all. Thank you.